everyone. Wow, there's a lot of you here already. So I can see Maria, Vicky, oh Vicky, you've got the SDX, brilliant. Have you used it yet? I can see Patty, Indiana. Hi Jamila, hope you're okay. How is, I've forgotten the name of the cat. Oh, I'm rubbish. I'm frantically trying to think and I can't remember. Hi Kareen, Hazel. Hi Susan. Eddie's fine, thanks. Jamila. I sound a bit muffled. Okay, it might be because I've not got the microphone plugged in tonight. I've moved the iPad a bit nearer, so let me know if that's any better, Vicky. I forgot to get my microphone to plug in. Hi Thea, Sooty. Why did I not remember that? How is he, Jamila, anyway? Sound okay now? Okay, I've just moved the iPad a bit nearer. Maybe it was just a little bit too far away. Hi Jane, welcome. First time you caught me live. Hi Linda from New York. Lynn from, is that Leicester? Okay, so we've got no ScanNCut project tonight, but hopefully next week I'll try and do something. But what I thought was, I'll do something in Canva, because the last time I showed how to do something in Canva, it was very popular. So Corinne's saying the sound's good for you. Happy New Year to you, Barbara, as well. Sooty's fine, but we'll only eat chicken slices. Oh no. Heather, happy New Year to you. So right, so Canva. I'm using the free version. That's the only one I use. I have shown you Canva before. Hi Mandy G, happy New Year to you. And I just thought I'd show you how to do something kind of simple, but that would be useful. And it's like how to make a to-do list. Now, let me see if I can change this screen. I don't know whether this will work or not, but just bear with me 1 minute. So if we get rid of that. Okay, so hopefully you should be able to see now. I'm just waiting for it to come up on my phone on YouTube to make sure you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, yeah, it's appeared. So I have a pad on my desk that is very similar in layout to what you're seeing on screen. And I use it loads. So like I plan on it basically. It's kind of like my planner. I have a diary where I put like all my dates for my YouTube videos and that kind of thing, and I have a section of my diary sectioned off for like personal things. But I have this pad on my desk and it's like my daily to-do. So if I know I've got a lot to do in a week, I plan it all out on this to-do list. So it gets used a lot. And I've had it a while. I think I picked it up in like one of the local B&Ms or something like that. I can't really remember. But I just got to thinking the other day, what's going to happen? And I just tear the pages off like each week when I've completed all the projects. And sometimes some of the stuff like goes on to the next page. So I use it a lot. And I kind of got to thinking, well, what's going to happen when it goes? Because it's so useful. And I've been looking when I've gone out, don't go out much a lot, but whenever I've been out, I've kind of had a look in B&M or Tesco, and I can't find anything to replace it. So I thought I'd make my own. So what you see in here on screen is kind of loosely designed on the pad that I use. Now obviously I've printed this, just this one off. I've not printed any off yet because I'm still using the pad I've got, but I wanted to prepare it, and basically this is printed on A4 paper and you can glue it together across the top, and then you would be able to make it so like you peel the pages away. Now on my YouTube channel I did do a small pad many years ago where I glued the top of the pages together using the Tombow multi-purpose glue that I sell in my Stampin' Up shop, and that works fine. You just basically you clip your pages together, apply the glue across the top, let it dry, and then once it's dry you can tear, you know, a page off at a time. So that's kind of what I'm planning to do, but I thought I'd show you how I made it in Canva and how you can just change up the design to suit you basically. So let me come back through the comments and then we'll get started. So Jamila's saying, I have got subtitles, is that what I have to put on? No, I don't think so. You should be able to hear me through your microphone on whatever device you're working on. So Jamila's saying, I'm so glad you're doing this as I have tried Canva and got mad with it in the past. Okay, and it's typing what you say before you say. Okay, so underneath your YouTube video somewhere there should be a little box that you can hit to turn the subtitles off. I can't get to my YouTube channel on my computer at the moment because I'm screen sharing, but I'm sure somebody will put in the comments for you where you find it if you can't find it, Jamila. I'm sure there's a little box for subtitles and you just click it to turn it on or off. Hi Ellen, it's okay, I've not started yet. Oh, there you go. So Hazel's telling you, click the credit card looking icon left of the cog. You could have a print shop print it and print it onto a pad for you. Yeah, suppose you could, Vicky. That that could be an option. I have a HP printer and I pay for the ink monthly. I can't remember what it's called. Is it called Smart Ink or something like that? So normally in the past, I've just gone out and bought ink when it runs out, and it's like about £25–27 a time when you buy a colour and a black cartridge. But the last printer I bought, there was a leaflet with it saying about this Smart Ink or whatever it's called. I'm sure if you Google HP, if you've got a HP printer, it'll come up. And basically I pay about £3.50 a month and I can print up to, like, I can't remember how many pages a month within that amount. And that also, it's works off Wi-Fi, so it knows when your printer's getting low on ink. So basically you never run out of ink. It sends the ink to your door, and then when you do need to replace it, you've got the ink in ready. So it's a good system really, and I don't feel as guilty about printing stuff out as I used to before, when, you know, things were being churned out of the printer and I was literally having to keep running to Tesco and replacing it. So Jamila's saying, thanks Hazel, if I can find it. The box has CC in it, Vicky's saying. Instant ink. Okay, is that what it's called? I knew it was something to do with ink, obviously. Yeah, and I think we've discussed this in the past, and I think a few people have said they use the same system as well, and I just think it's really good value. You know, if you like I say, you can do it cheaper. I think you can do it for about £2 a month, something like that, but you can only print up to so many prints in a month. So if you use your printer a lot, it's better to go up to the next. I probably don't even print 50 pages a month, so I could probably drop down now, but previously there's been a few people in the house using the printer and we used a lot more, but it's just so cost effective to do it. So Jamila's found it now. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we'll get going. So Canva, for anybody that doesn't know, is canva.com, canva.com, canva.com. As I say, this is my free version. You can pay to use other elements within Canva, but the free version works for me. It's where I make all my YouTube thumbnails. If I'm making, like I've got a paper share for Stampin' Up that I'm going to be doing in I don't know, next week I think it is, or the week after, I can't remember. So I'm a flyer for that. I use it for stuff like that. I use it to print the to download the image to put on my website for my monthly host code. So I use it for lots of things. So I'm going to go up to where it says custom size at the top right. So just let me go back to the screen share. And then I'll wait till I know that you can all see the screen, and then we'll carry on. Okay, so I can see it on my phone now, so you should be able to see my Canva screen. So basically when you go to canva.com and you go to the home screen, this is what you should see, okay? Like I say, you know, some of my recent things are in here. Here's the to-do list that I have just shown you, that I printed the one page off, but I will at some point in the future print a stack of these off, and then I'll glue them together and I'll just make my own pad. Or, you know, maybe not even glue them together, just put like a bulldog clip or something on the top of it. As long as they're held together on my desk, it doesn't really matter. I just need to be able to, you know, tear a page off or remove a page when I'm done with it. So, I wasn't here for the last 2 weeks, Jamila, with it being Christmas, so this is the first one I've done since before Christmas, so you've not missed anything. Okay, right, so Canva. So I'm going to go to the top of the page where it says custom size. And for me, I'm going to choose 8.26 by 11.69 inches. If you work in 8.5 by 11, put your measurement up here. So you type in 8.5 by 11, and then you change it from pixels to inches, or if you work in millimeters or centimeters. By default, it's always on pixels. So I just have to remember to change it when I'm, you know, doing something like this. So I've already got one. It's saying recent, so it's already saved a recent one for me. So 8.26 by 11.69 is roughly the size of UK A4 paper. So this is my blank canvas. Obviously you can design this any way you want. I've scribbled a few different layouts on a piece of paper, but I'll kind of roughly show you how I did the one in the screenshot, and then we can always maybe try something else. So the first thing I did was came over to the left hand side and clicked on elements, and I grabbed a box. Now it's saying recently used, and it's showing me a square and some other things that I've been playing with recently. But if you don't see things like this, you can type in the search box. So you could type, you know, square, and it'll bring up all these different squares. You can filter by photos or graphics. I generally just leave it all on the first one, which is all. So I'll take square out of there and come back to elements, and then I'll just grab a square. I can't remember how wide. Let me see if I've got a ruler. Hang on. Yes, I have. You just see how wide my box is. But again, you can make these any size you want. It's about 1 3/4 inches wide by about a 1/2 inch deep. So again, I just resized it by dragging in the little handles on the bottom and then tuck it in, and as I'm moving it you should be able to see, when you do it you might not be able to see it so well on the screen, but you'll be able to see the size in width and height. So I'll take it to about 1.7 or thereabouts, and then I'm just going to position it kind of at the top. Now when you move this around you'll see a kind of pink box appears. I tend to try and keep within that kind of bounding box. So now that's selected, and because it's got a colour fill in it already, I'll come up to the top where the colour fill is and I'll left click on that, and it brings up a colour wheel, if you like, or a colour selection box. You can choose to add a new colour and it will bring up, you know, all the colours that you can pick from here, and then you can move the slider around. I just chose a blue. I think I chose the dark blue. We'll try a paler blue for now. And as you can see, as I'm clicking on these swatches, the colour is changing. So we'll go back to blue, and then over on the left, I'm going to come to text, and I'm just going to click on, you can click on add a heading, and it'll bring up, you know, big text. You can click add a subheading, or you can click add body text, and each time you choose one of these you'll see that the font size changes up here. So we'll just get rid of those and we'll just use some body text at the moment. So basically I just double click in the box to highlight it, and then I just typed the days of the week. But what I did, I typed Monday, created the box, and then I duplicated it and just went back in and changed. Once I'd created all the box, I changed each day to like Tuesday, Wednesday and so on. So if we type Monday and hit enter, you don't need to hit enter, because if you hit enter it puts the cursor down here, makes the box too big, so I'll just go back. Now once you've got your text selected, you can adjust the size to suit the size of your box that you've started with, and you can change the font. For now I'm just going to leave mine on, it says Open Sans Light, but again if you click the downward facing arrow you can choose fonts from within here. Anything that's got a little crown against it you'd have to pay to use, but there are loads and loads and loads and loads of fonts you can see in here that are completely free. So just have a play around with it. Just for the process of tonight I'll stick with what's been chosen. And then the first little handle underneath it is rotate, so if you wanted to rotate it, which I don't. And the second little handle that looks like the 4 arrow headed handles are just how you move it. And when you move it, in this case over like my blue box, you'll see that red crosshairs appear on the vertical and the horizontal to show you that it's centered. So with that selected now, I'm going to come up to the top where it says A and it says text colour, and I'm going to change that from a black font to a white font just to make it stand out a bit more. And again, you could make it bold if you want, you can make it italic, you can have it underlined. It's entirely up to you, you know, how you choose to have it. So you can see now I've clicked off. So I think what I'll do, I'll highlight it and make it bold, and, you know, just see whether I can get all the days of the week within this size of box. You can also, you don't have to make it all capitals, you can make it upper or lowercase, it's entirely up to you. If you go to effects, you can add a shadow onto it and all that kind of thing. But for a simple notebook, you know, I don't think you have to get that, you know, that in depth with it really. You can choose to align it to the left of your box, to the center, to the right. You can, you know, align it how you want. So that's my first box. So from here, I would just drag an imaginary box around both and group it. And then I would come over here to the top right hand side where it says duplicate and start to position. I think I've got 4 across the top of mine, so I'll do another one. And then I'm going to select them, and I'm trying to think how I did this now. I think, did I use position and tidy up? And that kind of spaces them evenly, and then I can move them. Now they are extending outside of that red, pink bounding box, but it printed fine for me. So what I would do, once you've made one, I would print it but use the draft feature on your printer and just make sure that it works for you. And then if it does, then you can print it, you know, in full colour, or you could just even make it black and white. It's entirely up to you. So that's kind of how I did my layout, and then I just double clicked on each of the days and changed it to the days of the week. So on my pad I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday across the top, and then I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday lower down, and then I've got a miscellaneous section, and then I've got a box on the bottom for making notes. So let's just do this quickly. Now see, that one won't fit, so this one needs to be a little bit bigger. So it might be that I need to adjust the size of the font, which I'll do in a minute. So I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday for now and see how they go. And then what I think I'll do is, let's change the size of the font on Wednesday, because that's the biggest word. So we'll take it down so it fits. We'll make it 18, and then I'll make the others 18 to match. I did this at the beginning of the week and I can't remember what size font I used. So for now, if I just space them out a little bit, select them all, we'll come back to position and tidy up. That kind of spaces them evenly between each other. So that's how they're looking now. And then what's Vicky saying? Can you change the red margin box? I honestly don't know, Vicky. I can't see anything in any of the functions. Whether it's something you can change in the paid version or not, I'm not sure. But for me, it kind of worked anyway, and it printed out. So what I did from here now, I moved this down slightly. Then I came back to the heading and I chose a heading. And I just called mine to do this week. Again, you can call it what you want, you know, notepad, notes, whatever you want. Let's just try a different font. So we'll come up to the fonts, and it's saying here recently used. So we'll change it to that, which is Oleo script by the look of it. And I can make the box smaller, and I can position this up here. Now again, when I go to my print properties, it will probably show me how this is going to look in my print properties. So if it doesn't look right, I can always come back in here and jiggle it around a bit. So for now, we'll leave it like that. And then the other thing I did was I came to elements and I typed line, I think it was. Yeah, lines. And then it will bring up all these different lines. And I just chose a basic straight line. And then again, I selected it and I made it smaller. And how I did this was I just brought it up to like one of my boxes and got it so it was about the same size. Like so. And then again, I just duplicated it. Now I'm looking at my pad, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 lines on the original pad I made. So we'll do, and then, I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to bring the bottom line down, select those, come to position, and let's see how we'll position them all to the left. And what do we, yeah, if we do tidy up, it spaces them evenly. So again, you've kind of got to play with this. You can have more lines, you could have a whole, stack of lines. You could just have 4 days on one page and 3 days and some space on a second page. It's entirely up to you. Let me see what Vicky's saying. Can you explain how you spaced the day boxes? Okay, yeah, so let's get these out of the way. I'll move them down. So let's jiggle them about. So if you select them all, Vicky, and then go up to the top where it says position, I'm going to align them all on the top edge. And then if you choose this box at the bottom that says tidy up, when you click away, it evenly spaces them for you. So does that answer the question? Now I'm going to select these and put these back. And if I think that I want more spaces in between, basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose these 4 boxes again and duplicate them. And I'm going to bring them down here. Let's see if we can kind of get them maybe about centered to the page, because these will become, maybe I've got to ungroup them. So ungroup them. These will become Friday, Saturday, and I'm just double clicking in the box and highlighting the text, Sunday, and then this one, oops, don't want to do that, I'll undo, I've resized it rather than selecting it. So double click it and this one will become a miscellaneous box, okay? So if I think now that I want these, I either want more lines in, or I think I want the lines further apart because I write quite big, basically what I'm going to try, I'm going to bring this down, and then I'm just going to drag an imaginary box around these lines. I'm going to come back to position, and let's use tidy up again and see what happens. So now it's spaced them further apart. So if you write big, you've got more gaps in between your lines. So Vicky's saying tidy up, I love that. Can we use this for print and cut on ScanNCut? Yes, but you don't need to cut it, do you really, Jamila? Because you're going to print it on A4 paper anyway. So you wouldn't really need to cut it out. So from here now, I would just select all my boxes. I'm going to group them, and I'm just going to make some duplicates. So now I'm just going to position them so they all line up. Together, and then if I select and duplicate, I can bring that down, and as I'm moving these groups of lines around, I can see that a pink line is appearing. So I know that this is now centered to this. And it just makes it so easy. So that's one option. The other option is that you can select all these. No, we'll leave it as that is. So that's one option, okay. And then you could just download this. It says suggested PNG. You could download it as a PNG or a PDF. I think I downloaded mine as a PDF from memory. And then once it's on your computer, you would open it up and just print it. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it for now. And what I'm going to do add page. And I'm just going to create a second page. And because I'm adding a page, it's adding it the same size as this. So another option would be, you could do, let's go back to elements. We could bring a box on. We could make it, let me think, let's see, we'll make it about 5.5 inches. Drag it down. Let's just copy this. So we'll go copy and come down here and paste. I mean, I probably wouldn't do 2 different layouts in one file, but again, I'm just showing you what we can do. But again, when you come to download this, you can choose whether you'd want to print page 1 or page 2, which I'll show you in a minute. So let's just make this purple black. So we'll choose the colour swatch and we'll fill it in with black. Then I'll duplicate the box and fill it with white and make it just a little bit smaller on the width and the height. Select both, so I'm just selecting the 2 boxes, and then we'll go to position and we'll go center middle. And when I click away now, it looks like we've got a black border around our box. And then again, you could just come in with your text and let's choose heading this time. And this time we could just do M for Monday. Duplicate it. Let's space these. I've not made this one, I'm just making this up as I go along now. Just literally drawn some rough ideas on a piece of paper. So if we change this one now to Tuesday, make that one W for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, then if we select, so we click on the first one, hold your shift key down, click your second one, just keep clicking to select all these. We'll come back to position, we'll line them all up on the left. No, we'll do, let's try center and we'll do tidy up and it'll space them out evenly. And then again, we can come back to our elements, drag in our line, and then we could, this time, divide them up like this. And I'll have a look at your comments in a minute. and then you could leave that one space, and then you've got a space here, so you could bring in another box, make this one narrower to fit over here, and then you could have kind of like a notes box. So if we change this again, let's make this one like a pale grey, and then we'll come back to text. And again, you don't have to use the fonts that are up, you know, up here in the headers for you. You can use anything that's free within here. So like if I choose this one, and I could make this say, highlight it, make it say notes, make it smaller, and I could position that up here. I could change the colour from pink to black, and then you've got like a different design again. Right, let me see what you're saying. No, I mean this principle of using it for printing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose you could, yeah. So, hi Alison, hope you're okay. Are you getting better? Being out, so glad I caught you. Sorry I'm late, I'll catch up, it's fine, don't worry. I wish my old brain could remember this. So there's kind of like another option, or what you could do with this grey element here, you could do what I did before. So let's just move that out of the way. We could make that black again. So if we go and fill it with black, and then we create a duplicate by using the plus icon at the top, and the duplicate selected, we could change that to white. We could make it a little bit smaller, position it over, select both, and then let's use position and center and middle again, and click away. Now that one doesn't look right, so it needs to come in, needs to be narrower. So let me choose the black rectangle, hold my shift key down the white rectangle, position, center, click away. See, we've got like a black box around it again now. And then we can bring the word notes in, and it's disappeared. So you come up to position and you bring it forward. So that's like another style that you can play with. And then again, when I said how you print it, if you come to download, it says here, select pages. So because I've done one page, and then rather than just save that as one template, I added another page. This is like page 2. When you want to download it and print it, it says to you here, so you can choose all pages, or if you only wanted the first one, you'd choose page 1 and you'd download that, you know, either as a PNG or as a PDF, however you want to download it. I think I saved mine as a PDF, can't remember. But if you wanted to print, you know, if you designed 2 pages and you wanted to print multiples of both, then you would just choose from your drop down, you'd choose all pages and then done, and then download it. Let's see what we're saying. So Jamila's saying, not to sound stupid, but is this just for printing then? Can we use it to a cut file? I don't understand why you'd want to make it a cut file, Jamila, because the template that I started with at the beginning is a UK piece of A4 paper. So this is going to print on a UK piece of A4 paper from your printer. So there's nothing to cut. Does that make sense? It's basically you're just making like your own notepad from plain paper. So Heather's saying, guess you could print it, laminate it, and then use it like a whiteboard. Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. and rub it off rather than just keep printing it. Yeah, that would be a really good idea actually. Yeah. So print it once, laminate it, and then use it as like your own whiteboard. Problem with that is, like I said at the beginning, because I have so much going on in my week with, you know, like stamping up and ScanNCut and coming up with ideas for videos and editing and all that, sometimes my pad runs into 2 pages. And that's why I was saying at the beginning, it got me thinking, how long is this pad going to last me? So if you've only printed and laminated one, then you might not have enough space. But yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good way of doing it. I'd possibly photograph with smartphone, so I had a record of the week too. Yeah, that's another good idea. Keep it on your phone once you've filled it in. I like the idea, Heather, too. Bad for me that I'm lazy enough I'd never wipe anything off. Charlotte, come on. Alison's saying, hopefully on Wednesday at physio, I'll be losing the crutches. Okay. Go back to 1 stick, coming on leaps and bounds. Oh, that's good. That is good. Don't like to bother folk. You bother us, it's fine, Alison. That's what we're here for. But it's good to know that you're hopefully going to be able to just go maybe down to a stick for now. So that's good. And Jamila's saying you get it now. Okay, no problem. Abigail's saying this is wonderful. Thank you so much. That's fine. I mean, what I would do is maybe go onto the internet and just do a Google search for to-do lists or notepads and kind of have a look at, you know, some pre-designed layouts that are already on there, and that will give you an idea of how to make your own. Or like I say, if you've got one like me that you use a lot, then, you know, make one in Canva based on what you've already got. What format would you save to use it as a draw file for future reference? I wouldn't use it as a draw file. I wouldn't use it on my ScanNCut. This is just something I would use in Canva and print it out with my printer. Is that what you mean, Vicky? I'm not sure. So Jamila's saying that you permanently have 2 crutches. Okay. I suppose if you would want to get your ScanNCut to draw it, then I suppose you would probably save it as a PNG and print it and then scan it. Is that what you mean? I'm not quite sure. I kind of personally wasn't thinking of using this with the ScanNCut at all. It was just literally a way of making some stationery that I could print out. I mean, if you had the paid for version, in the paid for version, you can save something as an SVG. So I suppose then maybe if you put that SVG file into your ScanNCut, you might be able to draw it. Not sure. If anybody's got the paid for version and they want to make something and try it out and let us know, that would be a good idea. Right, let's see what everyone else is saying. We could save these as PNGs and use them in our digital planners as well. Yeah. No, and I didn't say that, Abigail, so that's a good idea, yeah. If you can use PNGs in your digital planners, then yeah, definitely. I don't have a digital planner. Like I say, basically, I use a calendar on my phone for day-to-day things like everyday life kind of stuff. But I have a desk diary for like all my Stampin' Up and YouTube stuff, and then I have this to-do list, which is basically acts as my mouse mat, because I use a Mac, as you probably all know, and I have one of those like high gloss white top desks, so I needed a mouse mat. So this to-do list is my mouse mat, but it's also where I put all my things to remind me to what I need to do each day. So it's used, as I say, it's used a lot. Could put a pic of Eddie on top, make it look cute. You can add anything. I mean, if you come to the, let's look in the elements here. Let's see what there is in here. If we type flower, let's just see what there is. So you could like drag a flower on and resize it, and you know, you could position that up in the corner to make it a little bit pretty. Let's see how this would look. You could maybe put something like this. Let's try this. If we put this in the middle, and then up here where you've got this box that looks like ombre squares, if we select that, we can make this fade into the background. So you could, you know, print something like this in the background of your notepad by using the transparency. There's all sorts of things you could use if you have a look in here. This one's got the crown against it, so you'd have to pay, but like here's another one that's free. So if we get rid of that one, bring this one in, let's make this bigger. And then again, let's see if we can use the transparency. We can take the transparency down and have that kind of like faded. When I click away, can you see that now faded into the background? So Vicky's saying, yes, that's what I mean. Not for this project, but for possible project that we would incorporate something from Canva and then cut around it, a shape for ScanNCut. Yeah, Vicky, that's kind of like the teacup thing I did. Were you here for that one, where I got the teacups from Canva and made them into like a card, and then we printed it and cut it with the ScanNCut? That's in my files somewhere. I'll save this in a minute and I'll see if I can find it. So Charlotte's saying PNG, I've forgotten what CSW will import. Canvas Workspace will import JPEGs, won't it? Bitmaps, SVGs. Does it do PNG? I can't remember. Abigail's saying, I only play around with digital planners for fun and the challenge. I don't use them though. I'm a paper girl all the way. Same. Bless you, hope you're not in too much pain. Also, the morphine patch helped, Jamila's saying. That's beautiful. Love the transparency effect. Like that idea, like a watermark. Yeah. This, I mean, like I say, we've kind of only ever really scratched the surface with Canva, haven't we? If you think about it, not done an awful lot with Canva, but there's so much that you can make use of it, especially as it's free. So let's just say we save this now. So if I go to File, and you can see up here where it says Add a Heading. So if I click on the pencil, so I could call this To-Do Lists, let's say, and hit Enter, and then come down and save. And then when I come up to the top, or is it Home? Let's go to Home. And then it'll say all your designs, and it'll show me all the things that I've, you know, been playing around with. And then in here, here's the teacup card we did. This was done in Canva. Did you see this one, Vicky? This was basically a teacup that's in Canva, in the elements somewhere. And I created a copy of it and flipped it, added the happy birthday, made a rectangle, and then I printed this and put this through the ScanNCut and cut it out as a shaped card. So Lynn's saying, cannot wait to put Canva on my iPad and computer. Thanks so much. You're welcome. I only use it on my computer. It's like Canva's Workspace. I don't have that on my iPad as well. I find it clunky. So things like Canvas Workspace and Canva, I just always use on my main computer. So Jamila's saying, I can see so many uses now. You don't. Now you have done it the easy way and helped me understand it better. Oh, you're welcome, that's fine. But like I say, there's so many things that you can do with it. Lynn, I got it on my iPad as I normally only use that for most things. Yeah, try it on your iPad. As I say, I just find things like this a bit clunky on. I have an iPad Pro, but I prefer to use my computer. Yes, I saw that you printed then cut. I meant draw and cut. Yeah, you could do the same thing though, couldn't you? You could draw it, I suppose. I mean, that flower that we just used, let's go back, let's go to home and let's go to custom size, and we'll just find another blank page. And then if we go back to elements, so like this flower, you could make multiples of those and save it and maybe scan it and get the ScanNCut to draw it. It's got a bit of a break in it here. You may have to fill that in with a black pen, but yeah, there's all sorts of things that you can use that are in here that are completely free, that you could get your ScanNCut to, you know, probably draw for you. And then, I mean, I'm just showing you using a basic A4 page, but there's all, you know, there's things like up here, create a design. You can choose all kinds of different things. There's also presentations and stuff like that in here. You can choose presentations, and, you know, if you run a group or you're a teacher or you need to, you know, make a flyer for something, there's all free presentations in here that you can choose and use as well. You know, just click on one, use it exactly as it is, or change it up. You know, like this one I'm clicking on here is free. There's just all sorts of stuff that you can, like if I drag this one on now, this is an image, so it says you can edit the image. I think you can mess about with like the brightness and stuff like that, but you know, if you wanted to make a flyer, you can change the text, you can add in other text. But for me, it was literally just about kind of making the notepad. So if I go back to all my designs, and this is the one I've just made, and it when I hover over it, you can see it's saying 1 of 2. So it's kind of showing me what's in this particular file. Let's see, so Jamila's saying, oh, I loved that card, it's beautiful. I need to go watch how you did that. Yeah, it was in a Sunday Night Live, I think, Jamila. So if you go to the live playlist on my YouTube channel, you should be able to find it. We did a dog one as well. Alison's saying I loved the teacup live as well. It was a few months ago, yeah. And Heather's saying you did too. Guess with all these programs, you've got to play around with them and experiment, yeah. I had no idea about the custom size part. I use it for the templates I'm really going to play now. So like, for instance, like say your printer can take, let's go back to home. Say your printer can take A5 paper. You could come in here and choose A5 and then just make a similar kind of thing or whatever you want on A5. Load your printer up with A5 paper and print it out on a smaller size. If you've got a printer that can print on 4x6, You know, so if you've got some like 4x6 photographic cards or something like that, just make your size 4x6. Alison saying, is this how I would make an address book? Yeah. You'd just work out what size you want to make. Something I thought of was that on my to-do list here, what I do with mine, I've deliberately not put dates on it, but basically what on the one that I got that's pre-bought, at the start of every week, I just write in pen at the top of each one of these boxes. So like the week I'm working on now this week, I wrote 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that just kind of reminds me that Monday was the 3rd. What you could do, you could then, you know, so like if somebody's, but so say Monday was the 3rd, you could write in here, you know, like Fred's birthday, and then print it out and you've got it on. If you want to make an address book, again, just work out what size you would need, and then, you know, make boxes. They don't have to be rectangles, they could be ovals, they could be circles. You might not want boxes behind them at all. You could just have the days without the boxes. Another thing that I discovered, let me see if I can click on it and show you. If I click on one of these blue boxes, and I know I've got the blue box because the little swatches appeared up here. If I click on this and then decide that I want this pink, I can click on pink, and then at the bottom it says change all, and it's showing me a picture here. It's saying change from blue to pink. So if I click change all those boxes now change to pink. So everything that was in that colour blue has changed to pink. So you're not stuck when you've, you know, made a box in a colour. If you decide when you print it out, actually I don't like that colour, or it's too dark and I'd have preferred it lighter, you can either come back and change it or change the opacity. So again, if I click on the pink box and come over here to the right where the transparency box is, I can take the transparency down and change it so it's paler, and then hit enter, and then let's see if this will work. If I now click on the pink box, I'm trying to see if I can get the box. Let's see if I can click on the pink box, change the colour. Can I drag the colour over here? I'm trying to see if I can drag it into make it into a swatch. Don't know if I can. So it's still showing the dark colour here, but I want to add a colour. So let me see how I can add a colour. Do I need the trial version for that? So let's see if we can choose, just playing now. Let's move that, choose this. Trying to see if it will give me the colour code. If it shows me the colour code anywhere. Copy style. Let's see if it does that. No, don't want that. Trying to see if it will give me the colour code, so I could add the colour code to the colour swatches, but I don't think it will. It's telling me I can add a colour. Let's see if we can do it this way. Let's take the transparency down and add a colour. No, it's not. Oh, reload page, something's gone wrong. So let's undo that. This text is getting in the way. Let's change it back to pink, go back to opacity, take the opacity up, and then put the name back in. Find my text. Oops, keep grabbing the wrong thing. There you go, put my text back in. Right, let me see what you say now, because I know I'm missing loads of comments. This makes my old print shop software obsolete for sure. Late again, we'll catch up. Oh, highlight, A4 landscape, print on both sides. Yeah, so you would just go back to home, go to custom size. So you'd need 11.69 by 8.26 inches. That's not very good, is it? Hang on. 11.69 by 8.26. That would give you your A4 page that way, and then you just make whatever boxes you want. Top tip from blue to pink. We can't see the lower part of your screen. What if you try hitting the plus? So let's go back. Yeah, if you hit the plus, it brings up the whole colour wheel. So let me just go back and find that, and then I think we'll wind up, because I have other things that I need to do. But basically that was what I wanted to show you tonight. So that was how I kind of roughly made my to-do list. Mine's slightly different in that I didn't space the boxes as much, and I put a big rectangle. So for these, let's see if it'll let us do them. So for mine, what I did, I made these shorter, and I had I've got a rectangle on the bottom where I can just put notes in. So if I show you, go back to this, you can see what I mean here, hopefully in a few minutes. I've got my Monday through Thursday on the top row, I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the next row, then the miscellaneous, and then how I showed you in the second page here to do a black box with a white box on top, so it looks as though you've just got a frame. I did that with the blue on the background, the white on the top, and then I just made it, I dragged it out to make it like a rectangle. So I've got miscellaneous things I can put in the miscellaneous column, but then I've got other notes I can make in the bottom. So that's kind of how I've done mine, which I am going to print out, and when this pad on my desk is used, I'm going to use this one. So that's Canva. Like I say, we've not used it a lot, but it is very, very useful. You can do so much with it. If there's anything that anybody wants to know how to do in it, if you leave a comment under this video, and I'll see if I can have a play, because I'm still learning. There are, you know, I don't know how to use this. I literally just try and work things out and see if it works, and if it does, it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and then I, you know, go back to square one. So if there is anything that anybody kind of wants to know how to do, we can, you know, do another, I'll have a play with it, see if I can come up with something, and then we can do another session on it. So Vicky's saying, the number of things you can do with Canva is so overwhelming. I appreciate that you show us these different ideas you have for using it. It was just born out of necessity for me, Vicky. Like I say, I've got this pad and I just got to thinking what's going to happen when it runs out, because it's so useful. So I just thought I'll see if I can make my own. Canva's there, it's free, we might as well make use of it. Abigail's saying very brilliant, thank you so much, just wonderful. Oh, you're welcome. Linda's saying genius, I must leave, thank you so much for a wonderful class. I must get Canva. It's completely free, Linda. There are elements in it that you do have to pay for, and again, you can just pay for individual elements, or you can pay for a paid for version, but everything I show you is all done in the free version. I don't pay for anything at all. I just use everything in it that's completely free. So anyway, I'm going to go. So I hope that, you know, that was all helpful and it's given you all some thinking ideas, and I'll see what I can come up with next week. Probably try doing something on the ScanNCut next week, because we've not done anything there for ages. And I'll speak to you all next week. So take care, everybody.